Hey MBA students, how are you this week? Hope things are going well for you. This is week three's video. Let's start with MBA 694, the LCS class. Um, Listen, I've read all of your papers, your week one papers, and you guys did a great job on those. And I know that scholarly writing and the APA style is new to some of you. And so I hope you found my comments helpful and not hurtful. And I apologize. I didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings if I did. Certainly, that's never my intent. So hopefully you took those comments constructively, and we'll move on from there. And I do have a note a little bit later in this video about scholarly writing. So lots of interesting projects that you guys are working on. I love reading all the wide variety of projects that are going on and the different industries that you work in. All very interesting to me. Many of you, well over half of you actually, I didn't actually do a count and do the statistics on this, but many of you wanted to do a mixed mode methodology, that is both a qualitative and a quantitative study combined for your research. And if you read my embedded comments, you know that I am strongly encouraging you to pick one or the other, but do not attempt both. Listen, it really is way too much effort to do justice to both a qualitative and a quantitative mixed mode study. And so I would encourage you to pick one or the other, and let me help you sort that out. Get with me. And in fact, this week we're studying mixed mode methodology along with qualitative methodologies in 694. There's a good video you should watch. It's part of I think it was in the course materials. It's by a guy named John Cresswell. If you've done any research looking on the internet for scholarly articles about mixed mode or about qualitative research, you find out that Cresswell is one of the big spokesmen and one of the big researchers in that area. He has a lot to say about doing mixed mode, and so take a look at what he has to say. Let's see, what else do I have for you? Let's talk about project scope for a minute with your projects that you're working on. Again, I want to work with each of you a little bit of one-on-one time through Zoom to help you properly like box in your, put your project together. And I know it's easy to, in the course of sitting down and writing your research paper up front, you're doing the upfront work, it's easy to make the scope really big or not understand maybe how big you're making it. So one of the roles I play is to help you scope your project, your research correctly, so that you can get it done within the time period that we have. And that starts with a well-defined objective, a well-defined research question, and then a theoretical framework. And I've already started working with a few of you through the Zoom conferences that we've been having on developing your research question a little more tightly, as well as understanding your objectives and putting together what we call the theoretical framework. I'm finding out that some of you don't know what that is, and that's fine. That's why I'm here to help you figure that out. It is actually part of section or chapter one. If you go to chapter one in the writing template I gave you, you'll see there's a section called theoretical framework that eventually you're going to have to fill in. And it's the basis and foundation for a lot of the research that you're going to be doing in your particular area. So I can't stress enough. Give me an opportunity to help you. That's what I'm here for. Do not attempt to do this whole research project on your own. Just doing emails with me. Engage with me. Get me involved. I'd like to help you. Let's see. Okay, I think that's about it. A little note about scholarly writing before we move on and move on to 602. In this course, I know the end as well as 602. I know I stress APA writing. Keep in mind, APA is the style or the rules that we use at Spring Arbor to define what we mean by scholarly writing. And the writing rubrics that you have at the end of your syllabuses really are the way that we measure your ability to do scholarly writing. So a word about that, a word about the scholarly writing. Scholarly writing is just another tool in your toolbox of writing. You don't want to use scholarly writing when you're writing emails and that sort of thing. You don't want to talk like a scholarly author if you're working with your folks at work or your family at home, or whatever the case would be. Scholarly writing is simply one way to write papers and to communicate with people. It's not the only thing that you're going to do. And for many of you, this is your first big entry into writing scholarly. I didn't know how to do this, way back when I started learning about scholarly writing. And what I have seen over the years, it's helped me think differently. It's helped me to write differently. And when I need to use scholarly writing, I can pull it out of my tool bag, if you will, and click over my head thinking differently about how to write, and I write in a scholarly way. And when I'm writing emails, I click back and use my email writing skills. So anyways, the idea is to give you another way to write papers and another way to communicate professionally with people in your presentations. All right. I don't expect, and please don't, I don't expect your emails to be like in scholarly writing APA format. I'm not judging you in your emails if you have a grammar or misspelling. I mean, I know I do that too. So, scholarly writing is over here. We use it specifically for our class and doing research, and you got to know how to write scholarly so you can also read scholarly articles. But every other kind of writing, they're kind of in buckets. You don't text the way you do emails. You don't, so there's all different ways of communication. Scholarly writing is just another one of those. Okay, so my purpose is to help you develop this new style of writing called scholarly writing. Let's talk about 602 for a minute. This week in 602, we're looking at probabilities and inferential statistics, and I think they even touch on some economic applications or applications in economics for inferential statistics. Here's my challenge for you. Pay very close attention to the videos and the readings that are in part of this week's assignments. Here's the thing about stats. It's really easy to get caught up in the numbers and following the procedure to get the right answer and then lose your way about what it really means in the work world or the real world. So as you go through and you study inferential statistics this week and probability, don't just look at the examples they give you. Think about how it applies to your job, the context that you go to every day, your environment where you sit and work. What does that mean to you? How could you use some of these tools that you're learning in your environment? Okay, and that's the powerful learning part. So what I'm saying is learn to scaffold or connect the things you're learning about to your experiences. Connect them together, right? Scaffold them together, just like it's a metaphor, obviously. Okay, you want to make it real too, I think is the bottom line on that one. Let me see, one last page of notes. Oh yeah, quick note about the group work that's going on in 602. So some of the peer assessments are indicating that maybe not everyone is pulling their weight, and a lot of you are maybe taking the entitlement approach. I'm making that a stretch right now to say that. My encouragement to you is this: everybody on the team needs to pull their own weight. And so I'm going to ask you, we're all adults, and we're all adults in the working world. We're all mature, and we have all good work ethics. Don't let your other team members pull your weight for you, unless there's an extraordinary situation going on if the team agrees to. So I would encourage you, pull your own weight. And, I'm going to be watching the peer assessments and the responses back. And, if there's a particular group that's having trouble, I may call you guys out and find out what the problem is. So I don't want to spend time on doing that. I'd like you guys to manage that. So again, pull your own weight on your team. If you commit to something, make sure you get it done, and everybody just jump in and work together in a real team environment. Pull your own weight. So okay, enough said on that, at least for now, and I'll deal with it if I have to later on. Okay, listen, have a great week working on week number 3, and I will talk to you later. Thank you.